Aloha, beloveds. Thank you so much for tuning in on this beautiful day. My name is Athena Rose, and I'm speaking to you from the jungles of Puna on the big island of Hawaii. And this is my first video that I'm making here at my new abode, my casita in the jungle. And yeah, it's been really, really healing, really nourishing so far. I've only been here for about 5 days, but yeah, I'm starting to really tune into the land, tune into the elements here, the insects, the geckos, the sun, the rain. We've had a lot of rain here on the Big Island on the east side over the last 2 weeks, and yeah, I'd just like to speak to what it's been like for me. I've been working 6 days a week in Hilo, working with folks with developmental disabilities or different abilities, I like to say. And so this is my sanctuary. This is my respite, being out here. And Sunday, I'm taking the day to myself and really tuning into spirit and tuning into my body, and realizing that the spirit of the island, the spirit of the land here is helping me so much uncover deeper layers of myself and ancestral patterns, like epigenetic patterning that's actually in my DNA. And what I'm working on right now is detoxing candida from my body. I was officially diagnosed with candida when I was 16. I had horrible acne on my back, and was just like inflamed and tired, and had gut issues, terrible gut issues. And my mother took me to a naturopath, bless her heart. This was back in the 90s, early 90s, and I'm sure not a lot of folks were going to naturopaths. Certainly my family, that would have been a rare thing, interesting thing. I'll have to ask my mother why she chose to do that. But yeah, so I remember being diagnosed with that, and I remember actually the doctor saying you need to take a lot of vitamin C and all these herbs and change your diet and whatnot. And at the age of 16, that seemed really daunting to me. And I remember my mother buying things and supplements and whatnot, and me just feeling really confused or not having the support that I needed to tend to my body or to follow the instructions of the naturopath. And so yeah, that was challenging, and years went by, and I'm sure my diet didn't change much. I remember eating a lot of simple carbohydrates and white bread and sugar, and drinking soda and things like that when I was younger. And my family just not knowing, like how to eat properly, how to eat well. Um, and so yeah, years went by, and I started having mental issues. I started having really hard time with anxiety, and I know this was related to my gut, and my gut health was related to trauma from childhood trauma. And so our bodies are so intertwined. There's no separation between our psyche, our spirit, our soul, and our body. I mean, our soul goes onward after our body is shed. But, when we're embodied in human form, what happens to us, what we experience, what comes through our experience and is imprinted on our soul, affects our bodies as we go through, as we continue to live. And here I am, 47, and I mean, gosh, that was like 31 years ago that I was told that I have this issue going on, which is pretty serious, actually, if you continue to let it go. And I know now, there have been periods in my life where I've been eating more healthfully than others, and went through 5 pregnancies. And I remember my second child, my daughter, being born with thrush in her mouth, which is candida in your mouth, essentially, and having to take pharmaceutical medication to give that to her to heal her mouth. Um, and she was having a hard time nursing, and I remember getting the infection on my breasts, and it being really, really challenging, really painful to breastfeed her. And this is so intrinsically tied to trauma, and I could go into all that for myself personally, but really it's just about like imbalances in the collective, um, not taking care of the children properly, not knowing how to take care of ourselves. And so not knowing how to take care of the children properly, and just this being like a generational thing that continues and continues and continues and continues, and not honoring ourselves as sovereign beings and as divine souls, and not honoring the children as such, and as parents, and not knowing how to do that because we haven't been taught, and we haven't been shown that to ourselves. We haven't been shown the respect and the honor from our parents necessarily, and an appreciation for who we are as unique individuals. And so it creates like this nervous system breakdown where we're like constantly in survival mode, constantly in fight or flight, constantly in a trauma state. And I noticed that the island is really teaching me how to calm myself, how to soothe myself, how to heal my gut. I started doing a candida diet protocol, vegan, so it's a bit more challenging, but yeah, it's essentially taking away um, carbohydrates and sugars, and focusing on seeds and nuts, and vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, avocado, and leafy greens, and coconut water is fine. Coconut milk unsweetened. All these things are unsweetened, and I guess a fruit intrinsically isn't bad because the fruit sugars actually break down in your body very quickly within seconds after you digest them. And so it's not like they're going into your gut, the sugars. It's just the fiber that is. So fruit is a good thing. But for the first week or so, it's important to take away those sugars to allow the candida to die and for that to shed out of your body. And I'm utilizing urine therapy, the urine therapy techniques that I've been learning and practicing, drinking my urine, putting urine on my skin, massaging that, and doing the enemas. Yeah, it's really powerful. I'm feeling like I'm going through a die-off right now, and I'm feeling sort of uncomfortable. I can tell my body is inflamed and swollen a bit. Like my face is swollen and inflamed, and parts of my body. And waking up today was a little more challenging to do my yoga practice because of the pain in my joints and things, inflammation. But I know that I'm on the right track, and I know that a lot of times these things, they like flare up even more before they leave. Parasites do that as well. Can get worse. It can get worse before it gets better, basically. And I know a lot of people and I've heard a lot of talk out there on Facebook and whatnot about folks starting to do parasite cleanses here around the full moon, which is on Tuesday. And that's a powerful time to start a detox on the full moon. I guess parasites are more active on the full moon, and so it's like really getting in there and sweeping them out, I don't understand all of it, all of the protocols around parasite cleansing, but I have done a parasite cleanse. It is 6-week parasite cleanse a couple years ago, and it did help me tremendously. And so, yeah, right now I'm working on the yeast part, the candida overgrowth, and getting my flora back in balance. I'm taking probiotics and grapefruit seed extract, and I started eating fresh garlic, which is something I don't normally do. I usually stay away from that because it's a medicine. It's very strong, so I don't usually cook with it. But I'm taking it as a medicine. I'm cutting it up and I'm putting it in my hands, and I'm blessing it and asking it for assistance, and then swallowing it. And yeah, just trying to stay in the flow, stay in tune with my body, listen to what my body needs, be gentle, but also, pretty much like sternly say to this issue that I have, this candida overgrowth, like, this needs to go, this needs to be in balance, this needs to be in harmony, and not like in a like rejecting way. Be gentle and love my body. My body's been through a lot, and I want to honor the journey that my body has made to get me to this moment. and just really have so much respect for the miracle that the body is to heal itself and to come in the right relationship and balance and harmony in all these ways. And it's normal to have a certain amount, I guess, of whatever bad bacteria in your body. But like when that gets out of control and the good bacteria is not, in harmony with the more was just basically not a neutral state. They neutralize each other. And so, yeah, so I'm really feeling some imbalances and doing belly massage and drinking lots of alkaline water and vitamin mineral green, and supporting my liver and doing liver herbs, burdock root and milk thistle and dandelion root. And yeah, if you like any advice on your healing journey, we're all, I feel, already healed. We're already healed. We're already in a state of health. It's just remembering that and getting our physical bodies back in harmony with that knowing. And I'd love to give advice or guidance on herbal allies you can utilize to support your organs through a detox. Also changing your diet, in particular if you're interested in veganism. I've been a vegan for 12, almost 13 years now. And yeah, it's important to me and it's an important part of my lifestyle. And so I'd love to support folks that would like to make the transition there or are on that journey and would like some assistance with modifying their diet to reduce sugars and processed food. And there's a lot of junk food out there, even for vegans, and that's labeled vegan, but it's not well with our bodies, and it's not wholesome, and it's not whole foods that are very nourishing. And so yeah, the least processed you can be, and the more whole foods and straight from the earth, raw is good. Not everyone can do that, and it's not always good for everyone to do that. Sometimes cooked food is necessary and good. In Chinese medicine, I know there's a whole dogma, beliefs around like eating hot food and cooked food isn't so well for the digestion. But yeah, so I'm also studying Ayurvedic medicine as well, and working with herbs like turmeric and ashwagandha, which is called Indian ginseng. So yeah, I'd love to speak with you if you have questions. I've been on this diet journey for years now, 5 or 6 years of working with foods and nutrition and herbs, and I'm an herbalist and um, yeah, just a health and wellness coach in general, in particular for women. I'm working with gut health and healing the gut. The gut is so related to the mind. I want to reiterate that again. Like I noticed that when I was a teenager, that I went through this time in my life of mental crisis, mental health, and I wanted to take my life, and it got very bad, and suicidal thoughts and anorexia, and it was just really bad. And I realized, first of all, it was related to trauma from childhood, but then it's also manifest in the gut. And so the gut is related to the mind, and the mind and the gut are intrinsically connected. And our true intelligence, I feel like, comes from our guts. And the more we can pay attention to our guts, our intestines, our stomach, our liver, our kidneys. I don't have a gallbladder, so that's part of my journey as well, is learning how to work with my body since I'm missing an organ essentially. Yeah, and I'd just like to thank you all for tuning in, for listening to me speak here from the jungle, from this beautiful land. And the breeze is coming up. I can feel it blowing around me. It feels really nice. So yeah, I woke up, did yoga, did my urine enema, took a shower, and just getting moving. Gonna go dance and tune into the ocean today. And yeah, I'm really grateful to be alive, and grateful to be learning, and grateful to continue to learn how I can best tend to my sacred temple, my body. And yeah, thank you so much to this body. Thank you so much for my breath. Thank you so much for my life. I love myself. I forgive myself. Thank you for my life today. Oh, blessed be.